just wanted to talk about when you were elected in 1999. Your first assignment was the Family Miscellaneous Court Division. That was newly created to handle disputed divorces, etc., protection from abuse.
That was my assignment, but I don't believe it was newly created. I think Judge Burke had served in it for the prior year. You might remember Judge Burke was appointed for a year before the election, and he was in that court. And prior to that, I think the newly elected judges moved in, were put there initially, and it was a good place, given that I had come from the district attorney's office, where there were many cases obviously in the system where I was the district attorney, and to avoid any conflict, some time was necessary for those cases to work their way through the system before I could handle criminal matters.
And you were not even located in the courthouse at that particular point. That was in
It was in the Berminski building, right?
Subsequently, could you, not day by day, but take us through your assignments and how they changed? How long were you in that particular capacity?
I was there for 2 years, so that would have been 2000 and 2001. And Judge Morosky was there also, and Judge Cappellini, Gifford Cappellini, was there as a senior judge. So for those first 2 years, I did all the miscellaneous court matters, and a big assignment was the equity cases and the civil equity cases and non-jury cases. There had been a substantial backlog of those cases that had developed over some years, and in my first year on the bench, I disposed of 101 non-jury trials, and in the following year, I disposed of the remaining, I believe it was 61. And then that entire docket of cases was completely up to date, and that there was no inventory in those type of cases. I also presided over protection from abuse matters and the summary appeals, also property disputes and zoning type of cases, and injunction cases. So that was primarily what I did. And then if Judge Morosky needed coverage for a particular time, or if he had a conflict, I would fill in and do custody cases or juvenile cases that he had been handling. So then after those 2 years, I was then moved to the main courthouse, to the chambers that I'm presently in now. I was fortunate because they're actually the chambers that my dad sat in when he was on that bench, so I think that was pretty neat thing. And initially, I was assigned to both criminal and civil trials, and over that period of time, I was given a full criminal docket and a very reduced civil docket. That I was not one of the civil judges. I was really a criminal judge, but I was given a small docket of civil cases, and typically they were some of the more complex cases and medical malpractice cases that would take more time away from the civil judges who were sitting there regularly. So I did those cases, and I would say that that civil docket continued, I believe, through 2006, my recollection. In 2006, I was assigned to be the criminal, or 2005, the end of 2005, I believe, I was assigned to be the criminal court administrator, and with that responsibility, I was added some administrative responsibilities that included calling the criminal list for every criminal term, also assigning judges to homicide cases, and really being the point person for the administration of the criminal docket. And I continue in that capacity today. That's a brief synopsis of my.
I appreciate that.